Menghadap ke bawah, Duli Paduka Baginda Tunku Ampuan Pahang, Tunku Azizah Aminah Maimunah Iskandariah binti almarhum Sultan Iskandar Al-Haj, Ketua Perlembagaan Universiti Islam Antarabangsa Malaysia, ampun tuanku, beribu-ribu ampun, sembah patik mohon diampun. Patik pohon perkenan ke bawah Duli Paduka Baginda tuanku untuk persembahkan ucapan patik di dalam bahasa Inggeris. Ampun tuanku. The Honourable Tan Sri Shamsudin Osman, President of IIUM, the Honourable Prof. Emeritus Tan Sri Datuk Zulkifli Abdul Razak, Rector of IIUM, Prof. Datuk Abdul Aziz Bagut, Dean, Istad IIUM, Prof. Datuk Ahmad Murad Merikan, Professor of Social Intellectual History, Istad IIUM and co-convener, Tan Sris, Datus, ladies and gentlemen. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. It is indeed a great honor for CENTHRA to be a partner of this historic event with Istad IIUM. This event has been the culmination of months of thinking and planning as a result of CENTHRA's statement to the United Nations in Geneva of the importance of the sanctity and value of human life. The definition of context is the circumstance that's formed the setting for an event statement or an idea, and in terms of which it can be fully understood. I shall do my best to do so. About 20 years ago, over dinner, I was surprised by a challenge by the late Tan Sri Just Fallen, who is among the formulators of the new economic policy. He shook me by asking, "Young man, what are you doing about the neglected poor students in Pendalaman, Sarawak?" I was taken aback and asked what can a normal executive like me could do. He said, "It is your generation duty to ensure that all Malaysians take care of one another. The rural poor student in Sarawak you take care maybe find the cure for cancer, and I did not work hard on the NEP to allow this to happen." Tan Sri Fallen has passed away, but his demand for responsibility has never left me, as it was too strong to forget. He made me realize that all human beings are precious and can never be neglected. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed participants and honored guests, this crucial conference on the sanctity and value of human life that is convened in response to the harrowing crisis unfolding in Gaza. I stand before you deeply moved by the urgency of our discussions and resolute in our shared commitment to address the profound challenges we face. The sanctity of human life is a universal principle that transcends borders, ideologies, and conflicts. It is a principle that lies at the very core of our humanity, defining our moral compass and guiding our collective conscience. Yet, as we gather here today, we are confronted with the stark reality of the ongoing genocide in Gaza, where innocent lives are being lost, families torn apart, and communities shattered. These atrocities being perpetrated in Gaza demand our unwavering attention and action. The staggering death toll, the widespread suffering, and the flagrant violations of human rights stand as a stark reminder of the moral imperative that drives many of us to be here today in this conference. We cannot afford to remain silent in face of such grave injustice. We must speak out, we must act, and we must advocate for the inherent dignity and worth of human life. Our discussions over the coming hours will delve into the multifaceted dimensions of human life sanctity and value. We will explore religious, legal, humanitarian perspectives to deepen our understanding of the complex issues at hand. We will analyze case studies, hear from experts, and engage in thoughtful dialogue to unearth the root causes of violence, conflict, and oppression that jeopardizes human lives in Gaza and beyond. Throughout the conference, I urge every one of you to approach our deliberations with an open heart and critical mind. Let us challenge assumptions, question norms, and push the boundaries of conventional wisdom to find innovative solutions for the present problems that we are facing. Let us not shy away from uncomfortable truths or unconventional realities, but instead confront them head-on with courage and conviction. While doing so, please answer some of these pertinent questions and issues. How can we ensure that the sanctity and value of human life are upheld in conflict zones like Gaza, where civilians often bear the brunt of violence and aggression? What ethical considerations should guide our discussions on the conversation of loss of human life in conflict situations, and how can we ensure that justice is served for victims and their families? Are existing international laws sufficient deterrents against genocide? In what ways can the international community better support and protect the value of human life in regions experiencing genocide and atrocities such as Gaza? How can we bridge the gap between the economic and non-monetary dimensions of human life to create a more comprehensive understanding of value and worth? If human life in essence is priceless and unassailable, then why is there a need to discuss value of human life? What role does the criminalization of war play in safeguarding human life? And how can we work towards a global framework that prioritizes peace, justice, and respect for human dignity? Genocide also happens as a war scenario. So is the call to criminalize war relevant or material in the prevention of genocide? Considering the unique challenges faced in Gaza, how can we leverage global perspective and policy implication to address the root causes of genocide and ensure accountability for crimes against humanity? How can we cultivate sympathy and understanding among individuals who exhibit ambivalence and empathy towards the atrocity of genocide and war crimes? What societal educational measures can be implemented to raise awareness and combat indifference towards the human rights violations, particularly in conflict-affected regions like Gaza? In what ways can we encourage active bystandership and civic engagement to challenge the normalization of violence and injustice that can lead to genocide and war crimes? How can we address the psychological barriers that contribute to apathy and moral disengagement in individuals witnessing or perpetrating acts of violence and atrocity? What strategies can be employed to hold accountable those who turn a blind eye to human suffering or actively support genocidal acts, thus fostering a culture of impunity? How can we leverage media, arts, and other forms of communication to disrupt the narrative of dehumanization and promote a culture of compassion and solidarity in the face of mass violence? Let's ponder and reflect on this question throughout all of our sessions today. Our ultimate goal is clear, which is to craft a set of resolutions that are not merely words on paper, but actionable steps that will bring about real change and tangible impact. We must emerge from this conference with a renewed sense of purpose, a strengthened commitment to human rights, and a steadfast commitment to uphold the sanctity and value of every human life. I call upon each of you to bring your expertise, your passion, your unwavering dedication to this vital cause. 15 years ago, when I started working on this, it was with the worry that we will face the extremely uncertain world. I am now older, where such challenges such as climate change, artificial intelligence, genetic modification, and worse, the introducing of the idea of colonization is going to happen to my children, our children. I pray that this declaration of the sanctity and value of human life will be accepted by the world and be used to protect future generations of humanity. I would like to deeply thank ISTAC IIUM, academics and staff, as well as the speakers for making this conference happen. May it lead a new paradigm of protecting humanity and make them become the best creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Thank you very much.